last YouTube was an obituary, and for what I have seen this week, it's time for the resurrection to be discussed. And the paper said that the Board of Supervisors had passed a plan for a new vision of Tysons Corner. In the discussion of that, they didn't go far enough back to talk about the history. The history of Tysons Corner began years ago when the combination of roads coming to one place, connected with the Beltway, converted farmland into valuable land. And the people that owned the farmland who then moved on out to Loudoun County is now the land where George Washington University is located. He made a good profit on buying land near the road so he could control his cows. So that was the early part of Tysons Corner. It was good farmland and also good land for natural deer, foxes, and whatever else that are now crossing the roads because it's not that way anymore. The first YouTube created in this system dealt with the obituary of the rail to Tysons, which I said was a stake in my heart because I had done so much work for it. Now the paper says that no, it's time to rebuild and redo Tysons Corner. So those are our words. So this is the resurrection of Tysons Corner. It was handled in a public hearing 2 nights ago, and the media just said, okay, now we're ready to go. Let me have some things to say about where we're going and why. All right, the plan that was created for Tysons Corner said that it's not going to be able to deal with enough cars. Or cars effectively, so bring the train. And if we bring the train, then we're going to have to figure out how the stations. And when they were discussing Tysons the other night, they talked about Tysons as if it were a city unto its own. It is not. It is surrounded by competing markets, and if it's going to be market driven, then it has to understand that there's a place down the road called Reston. In fact, without Reston, Tysons wouldn't have any of the strength it has. Reston was the thing that pulled the market outside the Beltway. Which now continues on into the hinterlands. Without Reston, there would not be a Tysons the way it is, and vice versa. One other thing happened in terms of the combination of Reston and Tysons, and that is the toll road. The toll road moved Reston a half hour closer to Tysons than it was before, and a lot more people are shopping just hopping on the car and running down to pick something up, or thinking that their job in Tysons is not that far away from Reston, except when what they're now finding it is, and it's time to do something different. And so the planning studies that have been done there have not been broad enough to really understand what's going on. In fact, with BRAC is going to create more jobs in Belvoir, and the people to get there are going to have to cross the Reston Toll Road and the Beltway, and the crossing points, more of them are in Tysons than anywhere. So that's the BRAC thing is going to cause traffic problems in Tysons, and the more traffic problems they have, then the fewer people are going to be willing to use that to go Christmas shopping. Christmas shopping is an interesting phenomenon in Tysons. And when non-Christmas season, there are a lot of drivers that know what they're doing. Come Christmas time, you find the ones that don't have any idea where they're going, and they drive like the sheep that don't know which way the gate and the fence is. And so now, as a selected Lord of Fairfax, that means I have the obligation of tending to the sheep. So I'm going to suggest some things that might improve things as we move forward to the future of this region and Tysons' role in it. I mentioned in the first YouTube that the Tysons is surrounded by concrete girdle. The Beltway separates number of people living there from their job. And at one event in one of the apartment buildings across on the inside of the Beltway,